Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We're with the Milken Institute's 2018 Global Conference in Los Angeles. It is our 21st anniversary of the events. I am here joined by the CEO of CreditEase, which is one of, not only in China, but across the world, one of the largest P2P lending platforms as it started. Now, the conference that we are here to partake in, from the Milken Institute's perspective, we believe in the importance of bringing in decision makers from multiple different sectors to address large global challenges. And if we have meaningful conversations, we can advance the agenda to build meaningful lives. And the theme for this one is actually navigating a world of change. Now, the financial services space has been experiencing a lot of change. And you as an entrepreneur started an interesting organization 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago. 12 years ago.
Time flies.
Absolutely. I'd love to learn a little bit about what was the original problem that got you to say, I need to do something, I need to change the way we serve this space. What was it that got you started?
Yeah, actually talking about change, Aaron, the company has changed quite a bit since it was founded in 2006 in Beijing. When we founded the company, it was the first P2P marketplace lender in China. But today, we are much more than P2P marketplace lending. We are a global FinTech leader specializing in financial inclusion and wealth management. And we have a subsidiary company listed on the New York Stock Exchange as China's first FinTech IPO. That took place about 3 years ago in 2015. So China's financial services industry has also changed quite a bit. And we believe we've played some role in it. And talking about credit infrastructure. And we are about to have, I believe, a credit bureau. I very much look forward to that. And when we first got started, there was no credit bureau. Chinese citizens had no credit score that we could rely on. And so with credit bureau infrastructure rapidly developing, I very much hope that it will help us address the potential over-indebted issue.
No, that's an important point, and the way that you just said that, it's almost as a fintech company looking longingly at the need for good supervisory regulatory guidance for the fintech space in China, and that's an interesting thing. I'd love you to talk a little bit more about that, because fintech organizations here in the U.S. Believe that the over-regulation of the financial services market actually stifles innovation here in the U.S. And it's an interesting contrast of what you're actually asking for. You're asking for more supervisory oversight in China versus what you're seeing today. Am I right in that, or?
To put things in perspective, China and the U.S. are two leading fintech markets in the world, but it's not an apple-to-apple comparison. China is actually behind the U.S., I believe, several decades in terms of credit infrastructure and also in terms of investor community's understanding of important concepts like asset allocation, risk diversification, long-term investing, so on. So in that sense, China has a long way to go. But technology can be our advantage. We can utilize technology to catch up. And in terms of regulation, indeed, we've experienced a tightened regulatory framework environment in the past couple of years. But I think that will be very healthy for the industry. If you have like a lot of unworthy companies utilizing technology to do bad things, that will be very bad for the industry's long-term development. So I expect that as industry leader, we will benefit from a cleaner, healthier marketplace.
Right.
And we will see the regulatory framework become more and more comprehensive.
So going back to this navigating change point. So in the past 12 years, as you just pointed out earlier, you've branched out from just marketplace lending to all these other lines of business. And then over those 12 years, we've had other giants come on the stage, from Ant Financial to the WeChats, a number of organizations. In understanding from your perspective, what did you foresee, what changes, and what were those triggers that said to you, I need to evolve how we operate?
Yeah, there are some very powerful trends in China financial services. For example, we are a leader in wealth management, serving both high-end, ultra-high-end investors and also middle class. The trends we see in wealth management include like China is moving from a banking-dominant financial system to one where capital markets, direct investment, private equity, so on, will play an increasingly important role. Talking about leverage, right? If you have more direct investment, of course, your leverage will go down. And also the new economy, which is supported by technology, driven by innovation, really needs a different financial system where there's more direct investment, more VC investment, and more healthy capital markets.
So how do you reconcile, between the traditional players that have been operating in that space versus a more technology-focused, so do you think the winners of this conflict are going to be financial service firms that leverage the technology, or tech companies that are applying best in class in the financial? So is it tech fin or fintech that's going to be?
A couple of thoughts. One is that a player, a fintech player, needs to clearly identify its position. Is it a technology company? Or a technology-driven finance position.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also it's very important that we understand the difference between China and the U.S. Yeah, here people understand asset allocation, but in China it's a very, very new concept. So it requires tremendous investor education, which we can do by utilizing technology in a much more effective way through interactive discussions with our clients. Yeah.
So which of those do you think CreditEase has become? Now you are in multiple lines, not just marketplace lending, from the significant exposure on the consumer finance side, the small business side, but the wealth management. So where do you place yourself on that trade-off between technology and financial like now?
Yeah, our position is that we are complementary to traditional financial system. And we add value by being able to serve the underserved population, like small businesses, micro entrepreneurs, rural people, and also serving those high-end investors with the products and services that didn't exist before. Yeah, also middle-class investor population, we can serve them with robo-advisory services. Before, financial advisory services were only open to high-end clients. So I believe the future fintech winner will have the following three key qualities. One is investment capability, domain expertise, as opposed to being a technology tool. Second, being very global, global reach, global capability. And the third is its ability to utilize technology. So these three things are the winning formula.
No, I'm happy to hear you say that, because from the Milken Institute's perspective, our FinTech program is pushing the similar concept around the need to have technology and financial services address a particular challenge, access to capital, inclusion, and making the system more compliant and transparent. And if it's not doing that, it's not doing its main objective. So I'm happy to hear that but I'd like to actually take it a little bit more personal to get, for some of our folks to know who is Ning Tang. And you are an entrepreneur that pushed for the growth of what is now a platform that processes more than $1 trillion US worth of transactions, if I'm correct. What were the traits in yourself that you think actually got you to recognize this and say, I need to address this? And what advice would you almost give yourself now, your 22-year-old self back then, to say, hey, here's a better way to do it?
Well, I think I certainly have benefited from my education and work experience in the US. Yeah, so after studying mathematics at Peking University, I studied a few years of liberal arts in the US, in Tennessee. So that has turned out to be very helpful in terms of, teaching me the importance of diversity, so on. And then I picked up some finance skills on Wall Street. During the internet boom and then bubble time. But I think I have also benefited from being an angel investor in China for several years before founding CreditEase. At that time, I was very early on doing that. There was no such term as angel investing in China. So we were not quite sure what we were doing. But we made our hands dirty. We were involved in the creation and the building of some very significant new economy companies. So there I really got to appreciate entrepreneurship, how to do company building, how to turn ideas to a reality. And also I felt the pain that these small businesses had about financing themselves and also financing their businesses, their customers. So that's how I got into innovative financial services in 2006.
Wow. So it was that drive to help these small businesses, and that's how the platform launched itself.
Yes. To be exact, it was about helping a group of vocational school students with their tuition problem. They couldn't afford something like $1,000 to $1,500 US tuition. So I was running around trying to get help from banks, but impossible. So I asked myself what to do, and because I was the one believing in these people and believing in China would be a credit society, so I did it myself.
That's impressive. So you started out with a platform that was looking at student loans, basically.
Yes.
And then now to a point where you have wealth management as well as a number of other product offerings on CreditEase. When you look back at all of this, we learn from our mistakes when we navigate change. 2 or 3 mistakes that you think you've made that you've learned from.
Yeah, I mean, I think CreditEase is really lucky in this regard because I, as an angel investor, before founding the company, had experienced all the mistakes, pains, involved in company building. So those companies I closely worked with, some cases found the wrong guy through my recommendation, or or landed on some wrong partner together, with me, so on. But the past 12 years, the journey has been quite, I think, not so dramatic. Steady, rewarding, so on. And but reflecting on past 12 years, I think in terms of utilizing technology, probably we could have been more proactive. in terms of coming to Silicon Valley, going to Israel, for more advanced technology. Because we are in the business of utilizing technology. So knowing where advanced technologies are is really key. I think we could have probably done that earlier. But you know, we basically were able to really capture the great opportunity in 2011, 2012, when mobile internet came. We made the decision to develop China's first mobile borrowing and mobile investing app, so that people since then could borrow and invest through mobile phone. That was a very innovative and a daring move, because bad guys could also utilize technology to do massive fraud, right? So we had the courage to go ahead, and you know, it wasn't an easy journey, and it was first a couple of years bumpy, I'd say. But then we, as the pioneer, made that work, and that actually led to the successful IPO of our subsidiary company, Here.
So I'm going to say, for your final question, what do you think the world has to expect from CreditEase in the next 2 to 3 years? If we look back on it, you know, that you would say, if I did this, I will have achieved something. So what do we have to expect in the next
I'd say the first 10 years of the company's history, we created this marketplace lending industry in China. We turned a business model idea to a $1 trillion industry. Today, marketplace lending is a pillar of China's FinTech industry. And now we are creating another industry in China, which is wealth management. Meaning, like, you know, investors are not now knowledgeable about asset allocation, global asset allocation, long-term investing. The whole China investor community is still relatively speculative. But through great investor education work, and also our strong suite of products and services, including like a lot of work we do in the US. So we will be able to make this wealth management industry really grow in the right way in China.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Ning Tang, for sharing. Appreciate it, and hope the rest of the folks enjoy the rest of the Milken Institute Global Conference.
Thank you.